Good afternoon, everyone. This is Kero Riri Paddle, and today I'm sitting down with Brainless. How are you?
I'm good.
Thanks for coming on the show, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I had nothing better to do. I have no friends. That was true. But
No, I vibe with you on that, bro. But I have you on today because I am looking to talk to a bunch of different people about their experience with Pokemon. And when I was looking for people to come on the show, you were one of the first few, and you were so excited about the opportunity to talk to someone else and share their story.
yeah.
So, do you think you could introduce yourself to everyone and tell us a little bit about how you got into Pokemon?
Yeah. So as a kid, um I'm still a kid, but as a young kid, I was really into like video games, the classics. Minecraft, just Minecraft. And then my dad, he got a DS, and I was like, that's really cool. And so this was around the time Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out. So I took his DS and I played Heart Gold a bunch. I liked it, and I was like, this is cool. I think I like Pokemon because it was just so adventurous and wonderful. The novelty of going around and catching friggin' monsters to fight, that's pretty cool. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? And so that's how I got into Pokemon originally, by stealing a DS. I eventually got my own copy of Soul Silver, and I got a Cyndaquil because fire type starter aren't overrated at all. They're the best starters. And I named her Cinnamon, and I had no friends, but I knew I could talk to my Pokemon because I was smarter than I was before. And so Cinnamon was my best friend.
Nice.
It was a pretty wholesome start. And then I remember playing Black and White, enjoying that. I never finished it because it was hard for me at some point. Then X and Y, the first one, I think I actually completed. Then Mega Lucario, my ace, because it's blue dog.
Nice. Blue Dog.
I like dogs and I like blue. It's perfect combo.
Wicked. So you mentioned that your first starter was Cyndaquil. Could
Yeah,
you,
and first Pokemon and the best Pokemon.
when I played the original Soul, so basically like thousands of years ago,
Yeah.
sorry, Silver, the original Silver. Um,
Yeah, I bought that on Virtual Console and had a grand time. I felt so nostalgic for something I've never played. I can't explain it, but it was amazing.
That's interesting. You say that. A lot of newer Pokemon fans, they do say that like when they go back to the older games, they feel nostalgic for a time that they haven't experienced. But like that, I think that's like part of the charm of this series is that it's timeless.
Yeah.
When I started with Silver, my first starter was also Cyndaquil, and
Mm,
I went through so many playthroughs. Eventually, I moved on to Chikorita. Chikorita is one of my favorites now, but back in the
yeah,
day,
I
it
love
was
Chicken.
always
Number one.
Cyndaquil.
That's on my heart.
And those are good character designs too. I found the second gen to be very fun.
The second generation to me, it was my first generation, but looking back on it with all the other generations, I mean, it was the best objectively because you had Kanto, but then you had a whole new thing to go with that. And you also had Cyndaquil and Chikorita, so pretty good about it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It was even from like a video game standpoint, like not many games had done what Pokemon did at that time, where they gave you a new region, but then you can go back to the old region where time had passed and they had built on top of it.
It's so amazing they were able to fit that onto the tiny little cartridge, and that fight with Red. Oh,
That was
mm.
cool. That
I
that
remember stumbling on him. I was like, "Who the frick is that?" And I was like, "It's him," because I had heard about this guy. His name was Red, and I was like, "I'm screwed." My whole level in the '60s. I think we all remember that.
yeah,
Getting wiped by freaking Charizard.
yeah.
Pikachu did a number on my team as well. It's amazing. Pokemon is just it's really special because it got lucky, and I don't think anything else could have pulled it off in the way Pokemon did. I don't know how they did it, but it captured the hearts of so many, and that's why it's going so strong. And it's really amazing that there are just so many people, there are so many Pokemon, and everybody has someone's favorite. All of them are someone's favorite. I mean, people don't like Trubbish. I can personally relate to Trubbish. But it's somebody's favorite. All of them are someone's favorite, and it's so amazing because they all have character to them. They're all unique. And the fact that they're able to pull that off, even 8 generations later, whether or not you do like the new designs. I know a lot of people didn't like Unova just simply because you could only use those ones. But I mean, there's a lot. If you just look into the designs and inspirations, me and Xiao is a freaking kung fu fighter person.
You know what? That's a good point. I want to get to that in a moment, talking about like
Really popular subject when people talk about Pokemon.
Yeah, they get very heated about it. Could you tell us some of the other Pokemon that you would have on your party? It doesn't matter the generation, but like what Pokemon do you usually like to play the games through with?
So, obviously Lucario, because it was cool. It was cool, and at the time I was like a furry. I know I'm cringe, but
It's all good, fam.
I was like, it's a blue dog, and I love it. And then it got a Mega Evolution, and I was like, whoa. So I usually go with Lucario. I have a competitively bred one. I haven't put it on a proper team yet, but it's there. Another one I'd always go through was Eevee or Umbreon because Umbreon is cool. So it's like a black dog. I have a plushie. I've had this for multiple years now.
That's so cool.
It's pretty old and kind of faded.
That's
I remember when
cool.
I got it, I was like, oh my god, and I slept with it every night. Another one I like to put on my team is some sort of grass Pokemon because plants are cool. Roserade. I do like Roserade because it's like it's got flowers and it's fancy. And Cynthia has one, and Cynthia is the strongest. So I remember I used to have a crush on Cynthia because she was the only person that ever beat me, except Red, but Red doesn't count.
Fair.
Freaking getting wiped. Garchomp, level 66, 666. Let me think. Gyarados, because it's a water snake, and I mean, it's really cool looking. And it just, I put always the starter, because you always have to have your starter. I mean, it's not right to have a team without it. Your first Pokemon, you started your journey with Sobble, beautiful little lizard man, and then he becomes a kind of creepy lizard man. I mean, look at those fingers. Those are dildo fingers. I'm telling you now. That's a man. That's a man in that suit. It's a man in a lizard suit, I'm telling you. But you gotta have your starter. So I pick my starter, usually the fire one, because fire is good. Usually that, probably the Route 1 bird. Because you have to have one of those, the classic Route 1 bird.
Always, yeah.
Raptor, my favorite of the Route 1 birds. Noctowl, close behind, because I'm a sucker for Johto. And definitely Corviknight. I love this steel typing, and just, it's really cool. Metal bird, very interesting design. And of course, another one, I do like to do monotyping. Not always, but when it comes to monotype, my favorite would have to be Steel or Dark. Steel's got some interesting ones, and Dark, it's cool because it's like evil, but you're raising them to be good. And so that was always really fun for me. Made me feel special.
Nice. Interesting team. For me, I would say like it varies on the day, but I've always liked the kind of quirky Pokemon, not necessarily the strongest. Yeah, Porygon Z
Vanillix gets a lot of hate for being food, but I mean, It's an ice cream cone. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. I don't think there was a lot of thought put into it, but it's still neat to have it around.
It's okay. For what it is, it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't like outright hate it. It's kind of lazy, but they did have to add a ton new Pokemon. The
Yeah.
idea they were going with. So I see they were running out.
For me, I like Umbreon too. It's one of my favorite EV evolutions. Glaceon as well, I guess the ice one.
Glaceon is really pretty. I like Glaceon.
Yeah, nice, sleek design. Porygon Z, Flygon,
I love
Politoed, Kingdra, those types, like usually like the alternate evolutions. Gallade, even like the alternate evolutions to Pokemon, I've always
yeah.
liked. Yeah.
It's really interesting. I do like how they have alternate forms. You know, you can pick your Gardevoir, or you can be Chad Gallade.
Yeah, that's me, unfortunately. So, you have a lot of experience with the video games. Is there any other aspect of Pokemon that you're into?
I have a lot of experience with the games. I've played the first two, um, Soul Silver, a little bit of the Diamond and Pearl. Those are classics. Everybody's saying. I'm kind of excited for the remakes. Sword and Shield, X and Y, Omega Ruby and Sapphire, Sun and Moon, and then Ultra Sun and Moon. And I've run through the side games: Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team, Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX, Super Mystery Dungeon. I loved that game. What else? Trading card game. I was into that for a while. But my favorite aspect of Pokemon is obviously the Pokemon. They're cool. I wish I had a Pokemon because they're cool and we don't have them. And it hurts me that we cannot have Cyndaquil in real life. That's the way things are.
Yeah. If you could have one Pokemon be your in real life partner, which one would it be?
That's a tough one. Maybe Cyndaquil or Typhlosion because I like them and they're cute. Maybe Totodile because Totodile's a little alligator. Chikorita as well. I love Johto. Eevee's like it's a dog, but like it's got personality. Probably one of the evolutions. Mawile. I really like Mawile because it's cool. I don't know. Mawile and Absol. My favorite Gen 3 Pokemon.
Nice.
I had to pick one for utility though, Wishy-Washy, because they say it makes a really good snack and it's tasty. So I mean, if I had to have a Wishy-Washy, I'd probably just eat it.
Yikes. Cool.
What else would I do? There's no other Wishy-Washy to form a school.
Yeah, good point. It can only go so far in reality.
Yeah.
So did you do any competitive Pokemon any competitive gameplay with the card game, or were you mostly competitive with the video game?
Not in the card game. I remember I didn't have very many energy cards that fit my Pokemon, and I had like 30 different overpowered ones, like Mega Absol, like Mega Mewtwo X or something, Charizard, Pidgeot, a lot of the powerful ones, but I never had like the energy to go with them. And I didn't want to have to ask for more and more like every day. So I would just make this play style rule set with my brother. And I'd say, hey, we'll do this, but we don't have to have energy cards because they're boring and we don't need them. And so he didn't have very many good ones because I also took his good ones. And that's kind of mean. But
No, that's
I'd
cool.
always like destroy him, and I was like, haha, I'm the master, the best that no one ever was. And in second grade, we had this whole like Pokemon card thing going on. There were Pokemon card decks everywhere. Everything was Pokemon. Like a Pokemon craze version 2.
I played with my siblings as well, and I think it's supposed to be that way. The older sibling is supposed to pick on their younger sibling, and we're
That's
supposed
how it
to
works.
make the abstract rules where we always win. So no, I get
Yeah.
that. Okay. What I What I like about the recent new craze with Pokemon is that it's more accessible. Back in the day, it was
Yeah,
really hard to there was really just the anime, the video game, and the card game, and like you can collect the toys,
yeah,
but not everyone was into it. Now, everyone, whether you like the games or not, you can have the clothing for Pokemon, or you can even play Pokemon
yeah,
Go on your cell phone. With the new recent additions to the Pokemon franchise, like the live action movie Pokemon Go, the re-releases for the side games, what do you like the most about the franchise? Are you the kind of person to enjoy the movies, or do you like to be more traditional and
um,
stick to the video games?
if I had to pick, I'd probably go with like the movies and the anime because I do like a good story, and sometimes Ash is dumb, which is really funny.
All the time, you mean?
Remember,
All the
folks,
time.
his Pokemon are fire types, and they're very strong against water types. However, Brock, you mad lad. Um, I do like the anime and the movies because they tell a little bit more of a story. I mean, they don't get that complex because it's a kids show, but you had some good ones. Let me think. The first one was okay with me too. That weird bit where he changed voice actors. It was like this deep voice and then this girl as well. He changed voice actors at some point. You can look it up, I think. Um, the Lucario one. I really like Lucario, and it was interesting. He gets sealed in the staff by Mr. Aaron for like 10,000 years. He becomes level 100, and they go out and do things. I can't remember much of it.
Neither can I.
Um,
Don't worry.
there's the Lugia movie, which I kind of watched. It had Lugia in it, so I was like, I'll watch it. I do like the stories. That's this story. It's my favorite part. Black and White did excellently with the story, but for the games, there wasn't too much. Sword and Shield is an example of that, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah, I see. Um, so you're pretty knowledgeable about the entire franchise of Pokemon and the spin-offs. What
Yeah.
do you really like about what Nintendo has done with Pokemon, and what would you personally like to see them change within like the next 5 or 10 years to make the series maybe better, or a more competitive game, or maybe bring back the difficulty in the games?
Oh, that's the thing. Difficulty. Well, what I do like what Nintendo has done with it. It's for everybody. Everybody can do it. Everybody knows the brand. Even if you don't like Pokemon, you know who Pikachu is. That's every boomer ever. Every Pokemon is Pikachu. Pikazar, Pikazoice, Pikasaur, Pikachu, um, Pika Eon. Everything's Pikachu. So everybody can do it, and that's really interesting. And because everyone can do it, everyone gets into it in different ways. And like you're interviewing me now, obviously there's so many different stories, and it's really interesting to hear because Pokemon is something different to everyone. To some, it's just that cool game. To others, it's like this lifelong franchise. Um, what they should do with it, though, I do love the accessibility. That's great. That's good for everybody. But sometimes accessible is too accessible, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Because at some point we've just gotten caught up in making it too accessible and make sure nobody gets lost. That it has kind of removed from the charm. And of course, this is kind of cliche at this point, but Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield, those are two examples of it. The hand holding
yeah,
corridor syndrome. As much as I really do want to like those games, and I love the atmosphere, it's Galar, you running around the UK, British people, tea, crumpets, all the best things. Cinderace is okay. Rillaboom is cool. Inteleon, I guess, it's Inteleon. The Pokemon are interesting. They could have gone for a whole new regional aspect, but they did. They kept it like really simple. They kind of dumbed it down, And that's my one group with Pokemon. They're dumbing it down. And accessibility, that's a great thing because It's Pokemon. I'd get everybody into Pokemon if I could. There are some people who just don't really like it, and that's fine. That's good for them. You have something else going on. But sometimes there's too much accessibility, like and just the wonder and beauty and adventure of the Hoenn region. That surf theme, adventure and excitement right there, especially in the remakes. And there is it's just been dumbed down, and I do think there's something they should do about that. That's my one gripe with it. But I do still enjoy Pokemon, and I really do hope for Diamond Pearl remakes to stay faithful to the originals. Maybe cut down on those HMs though. Those were annoying.
I hope so too. I like my game to have some form of difficulty, and I understand like what you're saying, and I agree with you where accessibility is nice because everyone can get in on it, but I play a lot of the more recent Pokemon games, and while the engine feels familiar and the characters and the worlds are as expansive as ever before, it still does feel like I'm not really playing a game. I'm just pressing buttons and I'm watching a show. It feels like an extended series.
That is the problem. Sword and Shield, the beginning tutorial to the first gym is just excruciating.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't
power through. And I mean, there's a skip cutscene button, and it skips like 3 cutscenes. Most cutscenes are text-based, and that's just I have to spam the A button and pay attention to something else while I'm doing it. And that's not a good thing. And I get you do have to keep it, like I said, accessible. But children aren't that stupid. It feels kind of like an insult. I mean, I know I'm an idiot at times, because we all are. Our brain fails us every once in a while. But I mean,
more often than not me, yes.
Children that dumb? I think hand holding is okay sometimes, because there's some things that are confusing, like going into this random house, talking to some random person to get an HM to progress the story. That's a little much. That was confusing for me. But you should kind of let them figure it out on their own. I learned typings and super effective by color. And that was really important for me, because it also helped me identify colors as well. And that was really cool. So I think there should be room to let children innovate and explore. And for example, if they find out normal doesn't work on Ghost, they find that out and they think, whoa, that's crazy. And they learn not to do it again. And it's really interesting, because now you have to change up your whole strategy. But it kind of does just say, hey, it's not very effective. You shouldn't use it. Pick the other one instead. And so there should be a little more room for children to critical thinking is what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
Room to allow for critical thinking and puzzle solving.
Did you play the
stupid.
Did you play the first generation, like the very first generation, Red, Blue, Yellow?
Yeah. I have this beautiful thing. It's out of batteries, but
oh my god, that is a throwback. I had that back in the day too. Jeez.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
You're a real fan, bro.
For it, but it's very cool. I lost a cartridge. I think I had yellow for it.
Okay.
But I lost the cartridge.
So you have to find that. But what I liked about that era of game, and it goes off with what you were just saying. You made mistakes. Like you have to let the person playing the game make mistakes. I'm not going to be frustrated if I use an attack and it's not very effective. I'll just be like, not very effective. Okay, well, that's okay. Like, sometimes you have to let your Pokemon die in battle. Like, it's not like you're going to lose immediately. And, like, the entire point of having those trainers before you get to the gym leader is so you can kind of get a vibe of, like, okay, so maybe electric types won't work on a Geodude. Or maybe, you know, like a grass type is super effective against a water type, and so is electric. Like, I didn't know that. So, like, you have to let people kind of understand and learn and make mistakes and grow within a game, because it makes the game more interesting. If you look at the anime, that's how, except for, you know, certain episodes and certain battles here and there. Yeah, but yeah,
As he
you have to lose.
finally
You
went to
have to
the
encounter an enemy that's going to beat your Pokemon. You have to encounter the type disadvantage. That's what makes Pokemon such an interesting turn-based RPG. Nowadays, it feels like everything by Nintendo is dumbed down so much. You don't really need anything. You don't need a walkthrough. You don't need to experience loss. You like you said, you spam A, and that's it.
I remember going through the Johto region, having no idea what I was doing, and it was like amazing, you know? And I think that's something that kids nowadays, I can't believe I'm saying that. That makes me feel old, and I'm not even old,
How do you think I feel?
but kids nowadays aren't really experiencing and learning, you know? It's all just, hey, you got to do it this way, do it like this and that. And that's my real growth, the gripes I've got with Pokemon right now. But it's still dear to my heart, and I do love it because I kind of grew up with it. So I don't know if I'll ever break out of it soon or ever.
Hmm. Interesting to hear. Who are your favorite characters from the anime?
From the anime. See, I watched the black and white. Um, I liked Ash from Black and White because that was the first anime I watched of it. Surprisingly, I liked Ash, Iris, and the green guy. Can't remember the names. There's Ash, there's Iris, there's the green one that likes
Chef dude.
grass. Yeah, he's got the bow tie.
Yeah, that
He's one
guy.
of the three gym leader. He's a guy. I can't. It's been forever since they took it off Netflix. That was my first anime, and I really liked it. I think N might have been in it. He might have been. I saw something with N in it. It had N. He was cool. I was like, he's got green hair too, because I was really into like different colored hair anime boys. Because I mean, they had purple hair. It's cool. I don't have purple hair, so therefore that's cool.
Yeah.
Though for a favorite character, Jesse and James, they're the best. They're they're comical, and that's why I like them. And I mean, in a way, they they also helped Ash grow a lot through his journey, and that's really cool. You might have seen the Reddit post or something like that that said Ash, no, not Ash, James and Jesse were Ash's real parents because they helped him grow because they're in so many different episodes, and that was really wholesome. And I was like, that's kind of true.
It is, yeah.
So Jesse and James have to be my favorite because they're funny. James is my spirit animal.
Nice. So do you think you can tell us quickly what other games you play and what other animes you watch or you're into? Manga, even anything like that.
Um, well, there's the Pokemon. I watched the X and Y anime, most of it. Sun and Moon, the beginning. I haven't caught up with Galar. I know that there's a kid. His name's Go. He's got a Cinderace, and he's got a Suicune. So, that's. I haven't watched very much of the anime, but I did like a lot of the ones I did watch. I haven't read the manga. I've heard it's good and interesting.
It is.
I heard it got a lot darker than the games or anime dared to go.
Mm.
Arbok got sliced in half or something.
Yeah.
And there's the freaking big demon haunter ghost thing. That's cool. I've got to look into that. For games, most of the mystery dungeon ones, except Time and Sky and Space or something. Those few. So mystery dungeon, I've yet to do Ranger. Heard a lot of people say it's good. It's not It's not well known, but there's a small little cult surrounding it, so I have to play that. But for my Pokemon checklist, I've got a fair bit crossed off. Super Mystery Dungeon, either Super Mystery Dungeon or Soul Silver has to be my favorite. Because Super Mystery Dungeon, the story, man, it was really slow at first, and that was annoying, and I didn't know what I was doing. But it's got difficulty to it. But the story, it's a little more mature than others. Um, I hope this isn't spoilers, and if it is, you can cut it out.
Sure, no problem.
But Mile, she freaking sacrifices herself to the abyss, potentially to never be seen again, ever, and just stays a statue, just so you and your buddy can go save the world. Now it's cool.
Yeah.
The Mystery Dungeon game also made me feel really special because, I was like a human, but I was also Pokemon, and I had this friend that was powerful. And also, I was going through a tough time. That was fifth grade, I think. Fifth grade, 2015 or something. Like maybe around the time I got into Undertale. So around 2015, maybe when it released, I didn't have very many friends. The ones I did had, they only saw them in school, and I was struggling with issues at home and depression, and that sucked. I didn't really have anybody to talk to it about. But like the partner of the Mystery Dungeon games, they're always so happy and friendly, and that was nice. And I had a friend, and that's why I love the Mystery Dungeon games so much, because the partner is really what gets me. They're great. They've got like depth and emotion. They're pretty cool and friendly, and they are your friend. And so even as a fictional character, I still got really attached to him. I still got really attached. And so the moment when they had to leave at the end, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to go because we did it. I'm kind of ready for that. But they broke the rules and the partner left, and it made me cry. I was like 10 or 11 or something. So yeah, I cried. And that's, I think, one of the only times the game has made me cry because I was like super invested in the story. So we had all the story things going on, the real life things going on, and it made me cry. And it was happy and it was sad at the same time.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. Pokemon can be more than just that game series that you see everywhere, It can be special because, you form a bond with the Pokemon. They're cool animals. And that is my favorite aspect of the entire franchise, the Pokemon. They're amazing and wonderful, and you can get really attached to them. Like Nuzlocke. Rip. Rip. I can't do Nuzlocke because I get too attached to my Pokemon.
Yeah.
And that's why it's not because I don't want to challenge. It's because I get so scared that they're gonna die, and I'm like, I have to release them. I've heard that you can just put them in the box, but I feel like that's kind of going against it because I'd be tempted to just revive them and use them again.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't really done a Nuzlocke. But from what I've seen, it's a fun thing to do. It's a challenge.
It is fun. It's an interesting take on the game. I kind of hope that Nintendo would release more games that are along the lines of the turn-based RPG Pokemon, but like with more dire consequences and like a slightly different mechanic like that. So I want to just expand on that a little bit more before we finish off. It seems like Pokemon has had a great effect on you. It's helped gotten you through tough times. You've built friendships. You've gotten attached to these characters and these stories. Yeah. And I'm going to be honest, like it's wonderful to hear that because I also have gone through times where Pokemon was like just an escape for me, and like the anime was an escape for me, and it made me like feel like I was on an adventure with Ash and everyone else, and I love the games and I've grown attached to the journeys that I've had in the games. But how would you say Pokemon overall has impacted your life, and how has it changed it for the better, and how do you even expect Pokemon to continue having an impact in your life going forward?
Well, that's a big one. Really, growing up with it, it's had a huge impact on me. Children are very influenceable, very impressionable. So, I mean, it did one good way. Like I've got this compassion for animals. I like animals like a lot more. They were really cool and sweet, but I mean, I like them a lot more now because they're like real life Pokemon. I can never have a tiger or some exotic animal to fight for me, but I don't know. it's made me appreciate animals a lot more, and in general, things and life, if that makes any sense to you. Because if I can't have the
It does.
Pokemon, I guess I should be fine with what I have now, right? Because I mean, at least I have something. So that's a real positive way it influenced me. And again, Ash, he's the goody two shoes main character, and I think that influenced me as well in some sense. Just a moral compass. That's an important thing to have. Morals are really important to me. It's real important, and I think Ash helped shape that. So thank you, man. Thank you, Ash. Um, it's just I don't know. It's affected me. I feel like I've kind of grown with Pokemon because I have. It was that time where it was at a low point, and I was like, I'm so cool. We're the underdogs. And it really just kind of left an impression on me that first time playing. And really, if I had to say if it's changed my life for the better in the best way, it would be, as like you said, for you, an escape, you know? Because sometimes homework and life in general is too much, and you want to sit back and run around with your animals. So, in that
Yeah.
sense, it has really helped me like that go through tough times, and I'm really glad that it helped you as well. And it's helped so many other people, and that's really great. The
Yeah.
fact that something can do something like that, that's really, really great, and that's interesting. And as for the future of Pokemon, I'm going to be honest, a little, not to be like negative Nancy, but I haven't got too high hopes. Because as you've seen, we've been getting real yearly releases. Used
Yeah.
to be, it was about 3 years in between. Red and Blue, like 1998. We got Silver, Gold, and Crystal, 2000 or 2001. So we were looking at 2 or 3 release date times with Red and Blue were some of the highest budgeted video games of all time. So we were looking at higher release dates and, somewhat better budgets. And that's great. That does allow you to put a lot of creative effort into it and soul. That's the one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
feel
agree.
that since we've gone to 3D, and that's not a bad thing. I feel like Pokemon could really benefit from 3D and add to that adventure and beauty of the world. But unfortunately, as time passes, it is all about accessibility, and I haven't got high hopes. Because the truth is, I don't think they're going to put very much effort into it anymore. Because, I mean, there's a good point here. Why even try when fans will just eat it up anyways? I personally dislike Sword and Shield, and if you like it, that's great. Real happy for you. But I mean, I disliked it, but still ended up buying it and playing through it.
Yeah. Me
So,
too.
what's the point anymore if they're just going to eat it up? And anyways, along those lines as well, obviously, I mean, I love Pokemon. I'm sure so many other people do too. And obviously, Game Freak would like it in some sort of way. You've seen all the Kanto pandering they do. They love Kanto. They are Charizard simps at their core. And you know what? That's fine. They love their dragon. It's not a dragon. For the love of God. The problem here is they've been working on it for so long. And I think maybe they're just a little tired. They don't care anymore. Because if I were forced to do only Pokemon, that'd be cool for a while. I only got to do Pokemon. That'd be great. But Pokemon's not everything. And unfortunately, can't be everything either. And that's the problem because I'm spouting words here. But,
No, I
working on
feel
it.
you. I agree with you. I remember back in the day when a new Pokemon release would kind of creep up on you, and it was exciting because you were looking forward to something that you knew was not going to be like anything before it.
It's
But
going to be new and different.
Exactly, and the thing is that that kind of vibe, it's really fallen off around Gen 5, which I think Gen 5 was like the last really great game. All the other gens afterwards are exciting, but it's like we're getting a new Pokemon game every single year, and it's a little too much for me. And like even the anime, like I understand they're trying different things with the anime, that's cool, but it feels very incremental. It doesn't feel like it's a new game. It doesn't feel like it's a new world. It feels like
It doesn't feel meaningful. It just feels
exactly.
like, hey, yearly release so they can pump out more merch. That's great and all, more Pokemon, but sometimes I think Pokemon is too much Pokemon. I don't think Game Freak really cares anymore because why would you? It's been Pokemon and only Pokemon multiple years straight, getting overworked and exhausted. The executive designers, blah blah, all want all this stuff. All the higher ups are pushing you to do your thing, just so it can put food on the table. I mean, to be honest, if I was in that position, I'd come to resent Pokemon because that's all it was. Just this job I was forced to do. And Game Freak's been on it for a little too long now, I think. And I think, like Opal said, this is kind of funny, but like Opal said, sometimes old folks need to know when to step out of the spotlight. I
I
think
agree.
we need to focus on kind of, I don't know, just making it meaningful and special now. Because I understand why they're pumping out the games. They want their money. And the games, they don't care about the games anymore right now. And that's kind of obvious because they don't care about the games. The games is just to set a new region. It's to set up Galar so you can market all this Galarian things, Galarian Zigzagoon, the new Pokemon Journeys anime. The games are kind of just a buffer now. They're not really anything meaningful. It still has to be playable, but they don't have to put effort into it because nobody's fighting back. We have had outrage, general outrage, like with the National Dex cut. Twitter was freaking
They went off.
everywhere. Reddit
Yeah.
was everywhere. Everything was everywhere, and we were all kind of angry about it because, like I said earlier, each Pokemon is someone's favorite. You know, you might not like Mach or Grimer, but it's special to somebody out there. It's the highest grossing media franchise. It's bound to be someone's favorite. And that is kind of a problem, but I do see what they were doing. Because realistically, it's impossible to put all those Pokemon in. At some point, we're going to have like 2,000 maybe. And don't know if you can fit all that in.
Yeah.
But the problem is, we've been just lacking effort or soul or care. And nobody's fighting back against it properly because we still have these Game Freak apologists that are all like, oh, no, they're doing it for higher quality animations. No, those are the same animations. And I'm just going to steal a quote, you know? You don't settle for less. You fight for more. Thanks, Distant Kingdom.
Yeah,
he's
that's
cool.
right. That's right.
Just, the problem here is not just Game Freak, the Pokemon company or Nintendo.
Yeah.
We are part of the problem because not only do some people not care, but some people care too much to the point where it's toxic. That can ruin somebody's day, you know? Just going on a forum and saying, hey, I think Charizard's a little overrated, but what are your guys' favorites? And then you say Charizard's overrated. How dare you?
Yeah. That's the thing. Like now that we have the entire we have different communities that are so vocal and everyone now is on the internet, like it's going to be hard to put out a product that everyone's going to be happy with. But the thing is, you know, there are people who aren't as vocal, but they're clamoring for a new Pokemon game every year. So it's like Game Freak is stuck. The Pokemon company is stuck. Nintendo, they don't put out any other game as much as they do Pokemon. Like even Mario, even though Mario is like really their bread and butter, Pokemon is neck and neck with that, but it makes more appearances. Pokemon has been in so many movies. Pokemon has had so many series. Pokemon has so much merch that it comes to a certain point where you're not going to appease everyone, but you have to appease as many people as possible in order to make as much money as possible. And like now, when you play Pokemon, it very much feels like a product, and it's like I don't mind that. Like I've learned to love something for what it is, and I'm a consumer, so it is what it is. But like if
Yeah,
everything is a product, then that love and that care does dissipate. So I wish for
it
the best, but honestly, like I feel like even with this conversation that I've had with you, like you look at Pokemon for what it is, you look at how it's impacted you and what you could take away from it that'll help you with your life and help get you through tough times. So at least we'll always have that, right?
that's great, and I do love that it's changed the lives of so many people. But you know, younger kids now are growing up with Pokemon, and the problem is they're not going to learn to form experiences or fun times. And I keep going back to Soul Silver and Johto, but it was the first one I played, and that was back in what we all call the golden era, 2D games, best games, blah blah, etc. Um, they cared, but now that it's always a shallow experience year after year after year, it's just, hey, new region, go through it, and kids aren't going to be able to learn or develop or form bonds. Like I said, Ash had this impact on me, forming a lot of my moral compass is forming moral compass, decision making, learning, adventure, and it was cool. The problem is now that we just aren't getting that anymore.
Yeah,
I
you're right.
think right now it's trying to get blood out of a stone,
Yeah,
which you can't do.
yeah. What are you gonna do?
Running it dry, I'd wait 5 or 10 years for a Pokemon game that they cared about, they put effort into. I'd wait that long.
Me too.
And I think honestly, much as I love it, we need a break from Pokemon. Much as I kind of hate to say it, we do. It's year after year, new release. I think we do need a break. Take a break to sit back, reflect. What did we go? Where did we go wrong? But what did we do right? And take away from those things. And I don't know. I'm saying words.
No, I agree with you. The thing is, that's a very optimistic way of looking at it, especially for a large video game company to that scale. If they're going to keep on making money the way that they do, why would they wait, right? It's the same thing with Call of Duty. We know that there's going to be that amazing Call of Duty game that was as good as MW2 and Black Ops. It's going to come out
Yeah,
eventually, but we're going to have to put up with yearly releases that aren't that interesting or they aren't that different. It's same thing with NBA 2K. It's same thing with so many other games,
freaking
right?
the EA franchise, the sports one.
Yeah,
I think that was NBA.
yeah, yeah.
New game, slightly updated graphics, same thing.
Same thing. Same thing. It's more DLC, more
Yeah,
pay to win. Brainless, this was a great conversation, and I really enjoyed your insight on Pokemon. I can tell that not only are you a fan of the series and the characters, and it has done so much for you, but you're also a realist who looks at the franchise and see how it's impacted you, and you want that for others, and you want it to
I
continue
do.
growing. So I really hope a lot of the things that you said Game Freak will come to realize in good time, like how they can cherish and how they can improve this series. But until then, I really appreciated hearing your story, and I'm grateful to have had you on.
I really do appreciate you letting me come to do an interview because I've never done something like this before and I was kind of nervous, but I had nothing better to do. So it was exciting and fun, and I wanted to help out another guy in need.
Yeah,
And I love Pokemon, and it's really great to share experiences with others and stories in general. And if there's one thing for any viewers to take away from this is that Pokemon is what you see it as and what you want it to be, and you you can grow and learn from video games and fiction, and that sometimes you can't just sit there and take it. You know, can't just stand there and take it. You're gonna have to fight for more. You can't just be this passive passive cow grazing the grass, and don't settle for less. Fight for more.
I like that. I agree. Thank you. I really
Thank you so
appreciate your
much for
time.
having me on. It was
Thank
really
you.
fun.
No problem. I feel like maybe the next Pokemon release or something, I'd love to have you back on and get your views on it. I really
Sure.
appreciate your time.
Yeah, I'll still be around, I think. Unless I don't fall in like a ditch, but I should be fine.
No, please stay safe, man.
You too, with all this COVID going on now.
Oh, I know. This,
Not everyone's safe,
that's true.
especially with anti-maskers. I mean, that's a whole different thing,
It is.
unrelated.
It is.
I don't want to get into politics. I'm just kidding. I got other things to worry about.
Everyone, please wear your mask. And
Yeah.
everyone, please be good to each other. This was Kero Riripado, and I was joined with Brainless Seamus. Thank you very much for coming on to the show, and thank you guys for tuning in. Take care.
See ya.